Guys, welcome back with another machine on the Vulnhub, which is Chronos. The link will be put into the video below so that you can download and play the machine. In my view, this machine is not so easy, which will involve exploiting command injection vulnerability and exploiting Node.js Express framework. Node.js Express is one of famous web framework. So there will be a lot to take in this video. However, before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So enough talk, let's just get started. We can head over to Kali Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be net discover. So as you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 132. And we can put down such information to our notebook in case we need this information afterwards. So we can simply copy the information from notebook rather than running command ifconfig again. Rather running net discover command again. So let's pull up the terminal again. So what are we going to do next? We need to do port and surf scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So now we can get out its result. As you can see over here, as usual, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. So from the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has 1, 2, 3 open port numbers in total. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is 22, which is running SSH service or secure shell service, and also its version information, including exact version number 7.6. I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability for this particular version. I think, maybe you can find like DOS, some sort of DOS vulnerability, which is not what we want. And the second one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information. And the last one is 8000, which is also running HTTP service, and also the version information. Just I mentioned at the very beginning, the target is running Node.js Express framework, which is one of famous web framework. And I think just now I already looked at the nmap scanning results. What shall we do next? We need to go into the stage of immersion. And let's fire up the browser to do the manual immersion first with this port number. Sorry, I forgot to note down some information. The port 22 is running SSH service. Port 80, which is running, so it's running Apache, and port 8000, which is running Node.js Express. Okay, so next we need to enter into the immersion stage. I've already opened up the terminal. Let's put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Press enter, and so we got this page back, date and the time, Chronos. And I think this is beautiful. So as usual, we can check its source code. And I think that just only one thing we need to pay attention to is this JavaScript. Maybe we can copy, and we can go to the website of, I need to turn off the proxy first. And we can search which one? The JavaScript beautifier. Okay, online JavaScript beautifier. So then we can, review the JavaScript code more easily. Okay, so let's beautify the code. And here I define the variable, and there is one loop, and then function a bit difficult to understand. So here is launch XML HTTP request. So where to be sent to. All right, so we cannot find something very useful at this point. And now what can we do next? Next, we can check whether this site has robots file or not. Not found. Next, we can launch the Nicto to do the automatic enumeration. Nicto can give us a very rich information about the web application, such as the banner or the version information, the request, the header information, and also allowed HTTP methods, CSS. In most cases, we cannot find anything interesting from the CSS. A directory, CSS, a directory usually serves as a container for the cascade style sheets file. Some sort of static files which can make the site to be beautiful, something like that. So next we can launch the GoBuster to do the automatic enumeration. Let's autocomplete the command. Press enter. As you can see over here, I use the subcommand, the dir, which stands for directory, although GoBuster can support other types of subcommands. But I usually use the subcommand for GoBuster and use the option of -u to specify the URL or uniform resource locator or address, to be simple. Okay, and also use the W option to specify the word list. I always use the GoBuster as a word list to conduct directory enumeration, although sometimes we need to take a different word list until we can find what we want. All right, I do not want to wait it anymore, so I'd like to interrupt GoBuster. So nothing interesting here or so far from the port number 80. Let's take a look at the last port number 8000. And first of all, we can use the browser to access. Of course, we should use the prefix of HTTP. And here, the content is similar to 80, right? But it's not so beautiful. and we need to, we need to pay attention to its source code. As I mentioned, sometimes source code can give us very important information. We can copy, and also we can go to this beautifier site to make it beautiful, okay, or to be pretty. And let's beautify code hit. And here now we can see something. So I define the variable and the function. Also run this function similarly. So what else we can find from the code? Nothing here. So this should be the variable. Response. Oh, very long line. Oh, here we can find the domain name or host name. We can drag to right. We can copy. So how to? Yes. Now we can. Oh, even so, the user agent is blank. But so this is Chronos, and we can copy this information. We can copy. Where? Yeah, we can copy and paste to our notebook. Very important information. So I think now we can append this host name to our host file. Okay, let me do it now. So we can use the echo and we can copy this host name or domain name, and we can tunnel to T command with A option, which means append. Okay, so let's go back to this code to see whether we can find anything else. Also define this one. Maybe we can, we can copy this code and paste to our notebook. We can save, and we can save to our working directory. So which one? This would be, Chronos. We can limit to JS. Okay. I think it's better, easier to understand or easier to read. So define the user agent status. This would be list, right? So define the variable while request header send. It's not so easy to read or understand even now, right? So anyway, now we have already got this this information, the URL, and the URL has the date and also the format parameter, and followed by this a long string. we don't know what it is. So before we do that, I'd like to access the domain name rather than IP address. Oh, sorry, what I'm doing. Maybe we can copy from notebook, put it here, press enter. So now we can get the current time, date and the time. You know, this is the time and the date of my recording now. Okay, so now I think it means that there is some command running at the background, and the result would be a reply back to our browser and show up on the screen. Okay, and before we try to look into this command, I'd like to make usual enumeration. For example, we can check whether this site has robots file or not. Not found, cannot. And of course, the message is a bit different from the usual website supported or running by Apache. So next we can launch the Nicto to do the automatic enumeration. Press enter. So no banner retrieved. All right, I don't think Nicto can help us to retrieve more information. So next we can launch GoBuster as usual to do the directory enumeration. And we can take the usual word list, GoBuster, directory, extension option. Yeah, found the date directory. Yeah, we know that, right? Just now by manual enumeration, although its status is 500 because we need to pass the parameter format. The format, yeah, format. So I think at the background, there is one sort of command running, like date and format, and this format would be given or would be passed by us. Okay, so maybe we can use some, some special symbol, for example, like this one or this one, to execute multiple commands, or we can call it command injection. Okay, so we need to inject. Next, I think we can check whether we can inject the command. Okay, but before we do that, we need to know how, because this is not actual format, and we guess this would be encoded. We can copy, and we can go to the subchef to decode. And subchef, and we can paste in here. We can try to, for example, use the 64, but this doesn't work. So how about 58? It does work. So I think, this is the very familiar Linux. I think you should be familiar with this one. So it means that we need to pass the parameter here. And now I'd like to put the, for example, like the special a special character to run multiple commands at one time. Okay, let me show you what I mean. We can, for example, like this one. We do not need to pass the format. We just use this special character and then followed by the reverse shell command. And we can copy from here and put it here and And then maybe we can use this one. And we can, of course, this should be replaced by our canonics. And as usual, I will use the 555 as listening port number. So let's copy. We need to encode with base 58. We can paste in here. So 2 base. And we can copy. And we can paste over here. And then we can try to, we can copy the URL. And we can remove the last part, replaced by this command, encoded reverse command. Before we hit enter, we need to set up the listener on the canonics first. Sudo. Okay, waiting for collection from the target. And now we can press enter. However, we got the error of permission denied. So it means that, maybe it should be authorized to access, or we need to pass something else. So let's go back to the, to the side which is running on the default port number. Okay, and we need to inspect the request and the response very carefully, and we can copy and put in here, press enter, and go to the network. Although we just sent one request, however, automatically the browser, the several requests and response happening between the browser and the server or the target machine. So let's take a look at one by one. So this one, of course, this one is out of scope of our machine because it's connecting to Google. So how about this one? And we need to check the request and response very carefully. So how about this one? This is also out of scope of our machine. And how about this one? Options. So the options. So request header. Even here, you can notice, the user agent would be this one. So we can copy. So I think it implies that we should use this user agent to access this URL. Yeah, this URL. Okay, so let's put it here. So how to change or manipulate user agent? We can utilize Burp Suite. Okay, so now let me show you. We can go back here, and I'd like to, turn on the proxy, and we can launch the Burp Suite. Okay. Click next, start Burp Suite. So maybe I'd like to pause the Buster or Go Buster. Yeah, already stopped. So we can set the intercept option on, and let's refresh this page, hit enter, and we can send the request to repeater or module, and we need to change its user agent. So which one? Yeah, this one. We can remove original user agent, replaced by this one. We can copy from notebook and paste in here. And this part should be reversal command or encoded reversal command. We can apply changes. Let's pull up the terminal to make sure the listener has started without a problem. Yeah, it is. So now we can send. As you can see, we successfully got a collection from the target, which is so fantastic. Next, we need to do some local enumeration. And we can go. Even we can notice another directory, and this would be the v2. So it's okay. So now we can navigate to home directory. Maybe I can export the term environment variable, so then we can clear the screen to get a bigger space on the screen when necessary. Color, clear. Okay, it's much better. So there is only one normal user, Imra. And of course, at this moment, we do not have permission to grab or retrieve the user flag, which is fine. Next, we need to do some more enumeration. For example, let's go to the var, go to backups, nothing here. Go to www directory, go to HTML. Of course, I think, this is for 880 port number or web application running on the 80 port number. Nothing special here. So next, I think we can upload the NPL shell script to do the automatic enumeration. And we can copy from my toolsets directory, NPLs. And in order to upload this script or this file to the target, we can take the easiest way by setting up web server with Python 3. Okay, and this web server is running on the 8000 port number by default. So let's go back. Let's use wget to upload NPLs, and let's make it executable. All right, now it's executable. Now we can run it to see whether we can find any vector which can allow us to elevate privilege or make lateral movement. A lot of information has been done by this script. As you know, when you try to elevate privilege, in most cases, we need to make use of this script to make automatic enumeration. All right, it's done. Let's scroll up. Searching passwords or credentials files in home. Nothing here. So all relevant hidden files, backup files, Chronos, running Node.js Express framework. Let's continue our scrolling. The binaries with capabilities information. Sometimes we can exploit capabilities to elevate privilege. SUID bit, but nothing here. Username information and group information. Active ports. You can notice this one, this port number 8080. And of course, the mmap cannot discover this port number because this is accessible locally only. Okay, so maybe just now under the opt directory, we have already discovered the Chronos v2 directory. Maybe that application is running on this port number. Okay, we should keep this information in our minds. Okay, so let's continue our scrolling, cron job information, process information, local exploits. But I'd like to point out I'm not going to take kernel level exploit to elevate privilege, because this is not what the author of this machine expected us to do, okay? So, all right, I think the only suspicious information so far we have already got is the another port number 880. Let's take a look at the v2. Let's go back to opt directory, clear, and go to the Chronos v2. And we can go into backend. And now let's take a look at this file. And I think now from this information, we can know that indeed the v2 is running on the port number 8080, and it's only accessible locally. And also you can notice this one, of course, to be honest, it's not so easy to, to discover, this one. Express file upload. This is another framework, file upload. Actually, we can take a look at the JSON configuration file, package JSON, and you can notice this one, framework, express file upload, and even, the exact version information. So we can take this information and use Google to make some research. Actually, this version is vulnerable to the command injection. And, this code or exploit is not so difficult, which is Python. And we can copy. To exploit this vulnerability, we need to understand this Python code. Okay? Although it's not so complicated at all, exploit. And we can paste in here. And import request module. This module is the third-party module we need to, we need to use pip to install this module, okay? So later, I think we need to check whether the target has this module or not. Pip freeze or pip freeze, but we do not have a permission to read, okay, or to check. Anyway, now let's go back to this code. Here, the commands will be running on the victim machine, and we need to modify or make some justification or adjustment. For example, this case, we need to make the target machine or victim machine to connect back to our Kali Linux. So we can change it to this one, our, the IP address of our Kali Linux, and we need to use different port number because 555 is occupied. 66. Okay, so now let's go down, and we need to change the IP address because we have received in the configuration file, this application is only accessible locally. Similarly, we need to change this line. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it about this code. So next we need to upload this code to the, this one, to the target. Okay, so now we can navigate to temp directory. Then we can use wget. Maybe I also can use this one. Okay, so now IP address of Kali Linux Why? Oh, file is not found. Interesting. Wget. We can copy its file name here. We can copy. And now we can run, we can check whether Python 3 is available on the target. Python 3 is available. So now we can run exploit. No. Py. Oh, Python 3. Oh, we need to set up the listener first, waiting for collection from the target. This would be the second session, connecting from the target machine. Okay, sudo. And now we can use Python. I think we can move y, and then we can Python 3. Okay, finished. As you can see, we got another shell which belongs to Emerald. You know, I think this is great. We have already made successful lateral movement. Okay, so now we need to check whether we can elevate privilege. And first of all, the first thing we need to check is sudo with L option. As you can see, we can run the node or npm to elevate. However, the question is how to do. We can go to this website of GTF Orbins website, and here the node. Go to sudo section. We simply copy this line of command and run it here and run ID. As you can see, we have already become the root user. Now we can navigate to root directory to grab the root flag without any problem. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.